public domain. So, Chairman, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Chief Executive. I'm wondering about this announcement here, David. Sorry, just that's what you did, so I wasn't paying any attention. All right. On then to item 1 on the agenda. Do we have any priority business, Mr. Haywood?
Chairman, I can confirm there's no priority business this evening.
Thank you. Item 2, minutes. The minutes of the meeting of the Council held on the 21st of February 2023 are before you tonight at page 1 of your pack. Is it your wish that I confirm and sign the minutes of the Council held on the 21st of February 2023? Thank you. Which takes us to item number 3. Are there any apologies, Mr. Haywood?
Yes, we have apologies from Councillors Spencer, Boyle, Kinsey, Upton and Councillor Mrs Allen.
Thank you. Item number 4, declarations of interest. Do we have any declarations of interest this evening? I see no hands being raised. In that case, we'll move on to item 5. The next item is the essential business of the evening, is a report regarding the pay policy for the Council. Can I call on the Chief Executive, Mr. Haywood, to present the report, which can be seen from page 3 onwards in the pack? Mr. Haywood.
Thank you, Chairman. As members will be aware, the Council is required to prepare a pay policy statement for each financial year, and the proposed policy statement for 2023-24 is attached as Appendix A. The main point to highlight from within the report is that the pay policy statement makes mention of some new government pay guidance that was introduced during 2022. This is called a special severance payments guidance, and it replaces the previous public sector exit pay gap legislation that was revoked by the Treasury during 2021. The new severance payments guidance provides a framework for how the government expects local authorities to handle exit payments. It's highly unlikely that this will affect us significantly, as most exit payments will fall under the local government early termination and employment compensation regulations, such as redundancy payments, which are not classed as special severance payments. The sort of payments that would count as special severance payments are when payment is made outside of someone's contractual or statutory entitlement. So an example is paying a settlement figure to end a particular dispute. So it's our view that it will be extremely rare that we would consider making a payment that would fall under this guidance. However, one important point is in paragraph 4.3 of the report. The guidance is clear that should the council make such a payment, the government expects the following sign-off process: that payments of £100,000 or more would go to full council. And again, this isn't a departure from our existing rules, as they're currently within the Local Government Act. Secondly, special severance payments of £20,000 and above, but below £100,000 must be personally approved by the head of paid service, with a clear record of approval by the leader and both the 151 and monitoring officers. And thirdly and finally, special severance payments below £20,000 would be approved in line with our normal scheme of delegation. We've included these thresholds and sign-off processes in the pay policy statement update for 23-24, so we are fully compliant if this ever arises. So thank you, Chairman. That concludes my report.
Thank you so much, Mr. Haywood. Do we have a proposer in support of this?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I would like to propose that the Council approve the pay policy statement 2324 as detailed in the Appendix A and detailed by the Chief Executive.
Thank you. And do we have a seconder?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'll happily second that.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions, please?
Mr. Chairman,
Thank
could
you.
I ask for a little more clarity on what paragraph 5.2 will mean in the case of a payment to the head of paid service, please?
Thank you. If the payment was for a head of paid service, there would be a process where it would come to full council, and also beforehand it would go to the personnel and recruitment committee.
Councillor Kane?
Thank you, Chair. Under the Local Government Act 1972, we have to have establishment of a 151 officer and a monitoring officer. Would at any point in the future these posts become redundant, and would they be subject to the same terms and conditions? Because my understanding of local government rules and regulations are that these two posts can never be made redundant. I seek clarification upon this.
Can I just clarify? The people can be made redundant, but the posts can't.
So if the people are made redundant, they are, this is for Mr. Shakespeare, because you're the 151 officer. If he's made redundant, but we've still got a need by law, a 151 officer, why are they being made redundant unless they're being shunted sideways?
I will pass you over to Mrs. Fowkes, but it's highly unlikely that will happen. But I will pass you over to Mrs. Fowkes.
Thank you. So I think there's a distinction here between the post of the Corporate Director of Finance and Resources being made redundant and the 151 officer being made redundant. So if the person who is occupying the post of Corporate Director of Finance and Resources is made redundant because, for example, there's a restructure and that post of Corporate Director no longer exists, then that may be redundancy of that post. Now, because they are also designated as the Section 151 officer, that would therefore come to council for a decision, because it would be caught by the provisions that say any decision in respect of head of paid service, monitoring officer or 151 officer has to be a decision of full council. So it would come to that because it's in effect, Mr. Shakespeare holds two posts. He holds 151 and he's corporate director. So it would be the corporate director post potentially being made redundant. But you're absolutely right. We would always have to have a Section 151 officer. It just may not be the post holder of corporate director, finance and resources.
Thank you. That answers my question.
Thank you. Are there any further? Sorry, your name won't come to mind, but please have your question.
I'm looking at item para 14 in the appendix, senior pay. These figures, do these apply from the 1st of April last year or the 1st of April this year? Can I ask that, please, first of all?
They're from last year.
So they apply from the 1st of April 22. Yeah?
Yeah, and they'll be updated in whatever the new settlement is following negotiations at a national level.
So that these amounts then, these figures, these salaries, well, have they been paid since the 1st of April 22, or is there going to be some retrospective payment made after today?
No, this is up to date. Individuals have been paid. It was an agreement a couple of months ago now for 22-23, and those payments have been built into employee salaries, and so they are being paid.
Yeah, so did we to these figures prior to today?
It's the National Pay Award.
Oh, it's a national pay award, is it? Yeah, but it's only recently been agreed, so it's having to be back paid. Am I right? I'm right in saying that.
Yes, you're correct.
Okay. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions? See no hands raised. Does anyone else wish to speak by way of debate? I see no hands yet again. In that case, is it your wish that the recommendation is carried? Those in favour, may I have a show of hands, please? I think it is. I am advised that the vote is unanimous. Thank you so very much. And indeed that the recommendation is thereby approved. This brings me to item 7, Chairman's announcements. We had a wonderful civic dinner on Friday evening, and I have to say that every one of the 60 odd people who attended it appeared to have a thoroughly good time. I was so pleased about that. There was a particular part of that I'd like to share with you, and it's this, that a gentleman who is in some way involved with the golf club, the Wales Golf Club, where we had the event, made an extremely generous donation to my charities, Cancer Research UK and Macmillan Cancer Support. And that donation was £1,000. Quite extraordinary and incredibly generous. I was advised almost as I was making the announcement by someone who knew him, another golfing enthusiast, that the gentleman is very wealthy, and indeed apparently he is. So the chairman's charity has had a considerable lift this year, and I'm so very pleased about that and very content. I can, having said that, now draw the meeting to a close, but could you please remain seated just for a moment, please? Thank you.